Hi everyone! Today we want to talk about taking the bikes on a caravanning holiday. The topics we're going to cover are different setups for loading the caravan, bikes in the base camp too specifically, securing the wheels and handlebar, protecting the caravan, keeping the bikes dry, and I will show you a setup video from our last trip. We're not extreme cyclists, but there are many parts of the UK that are great to explore by bike. And although the majority of our holidays have been by exploring on foot, there has been a few occasions where we planned trips specifically for cycling and were very lucky with the weather. As you can see here, we have two different setups. When I owned a GoPod, I invested in a specific tow bar attachment for the car to carry the bikes, which I am going to show you next. I only ever needed to load one bike, and although you can carry more than one, there is a weight limit to keep in mind. In the base camp, it is a completely different approach, and the bikes stay dry and safe inside the caravan, even on a bumpy journey. I want to briefly show you the towing attachment. As you can see, my bike was quite long, and the wheel was sticking out a bit. I only ever used this setup for one trip, and I remember that driving along the road with lane width reduced because of roadworks was no fun at all. However, this gives you the flexibility you need to be able to take your bike anywhere you want, even when not towing. So even if you carry the bikes inside the base camp, this tow bar attachment could still come handy for days out. But let's move on to the base camp too. This is the caravan we now own, therefore this is what we're going to concentrate on this video. Setup of your bikes inside the base camp takes only 10 minutes if you've sussed out the material you need and how to do it. So it takes some practice, but you get there. It is not just a question of securing the wheels of the bikes on the handy hooks that come in the caravan as standard. There is a little bit more to it, and you need to make sure that the top of the bikes, the handlebar in particular, is secure as well. For this reason, we have bought not only 4 ratchet straps for the wheels, but also a long strip of Velcro, which we then cut to size to secure different places. In our setup, we even Velcroed the handlebars to the side of the beds. And in this picture, you can see that we have placed a piece of foam between the handlebar and the cushions to protect the cushions. However, we found that in transit, that piece of foam would drop off. So since then, we have found a different method. Now we have made something with bubble wrap, which we're going to show you in a minute. It's time for me to show you the material we use. We use a plastic pipe for stability between the two bikes. We bought the pipe and T-piece from our local B&Q. For us, the complete length of this piece assembled from T-piece to another is around 1.65 meters. First of all, I have a piece of foam that we found in the shed actually. It's perfect, it has a hole in the middle, the wheel fits in and it protects the caravan. Then we have fabric, pieces of fabric that we use as protection against the wheel. We have our makeshift handlebar sleeves. Now, as you can see, there is a cutout inside, there is a piece of foam, and it's perfect for the handlebar to go in. These are only small, but they do the job. They're makeshift. Obviously, it's bubble wrap, it's taped around, it's homemade, but it does the job. Lastly, I have a tidy little bag with lots of strap inside, and I'll show you what's inside. First of all, I have 2 straps for the frames. So as you can see, I have put some fabric around. This is a Velcro strap. It's quite long, it's quite big, and you will see in the video, this is what we used from the bench to the actual frame of the bike. So we have one for each bike. Next, we have ratchet straps. These are only 40 centimeters, 16 inches, and they work well all around the wheels. Lastly, we're talking about Velcro straps. I've cut these to size. They are about 25 to 30 centimeters each, and I have 8 of them, and I use 2 on each wheel to fix the fabric. There you go, so these go with them. But then I also have 2 of the long ones. These are for the handlebars. Now these Velcro straps are around 60 centimeters. And I have 2 of them, 1 for each bike. When it comes to keeping the bikes dry, it could be a challenge. We have previously used an awning, but then again, half of the awning is taken by the bikes, and we haven't used the awning for its purpose of sitting outside and enjoying the fresh air. On another occasion, we used a tarpaulin to cover both bikes. On a previous trip on my own, when I only had a bike, I had a single bike cover and I used that overnight. No matter how we cover it, we always lock the bikes when they are either in the awning or outside under a tarpaulin. It's time to watch a setup video of our last trip. Let's start by taking the top cushions away. Then we can easily lift the benches, and before we use the straps, we put the longer cushion reversed against the closed window. In this video, we are actually at a campsite on our last trip. We were just preparing the caravan for our return home. Once one side is done, repeat the same on the other side and make sure that the straps are tight. It's time to bring the first bike in. Play around with it, see whether front first or back first works for you. In our cases, we prefer to do front first. Grab some Velcro straps and a piece of cloth and cover the front of the wheel that touches the caravan front. We do this in case the bikes are dirty or to avoid any damage in transit. Next step is to secure the wheels with the ratchet strap one by one. With more Velcro straps handy, we now look at the handlebar. Since I showed you the bubble wrap protection that we've made, this is now used, put in place on the handlebar, and then a longer piece of Velcro attached to the bench. We also use another Velcro strap that attaches from the bench to the actual bike frame itself. Repeat everything with the second bike. It's time to bring in the big support. This is probably the only fiddly part of setting up with the 2 bikes. The T-shape that is at each end of the pipe fits perfectly within the bench gap. Last step for us is to load the bulkier items at the front of the caravan, such as duvet, pillows and mattress toppers, and that will allow for the front wheels of the bikes to stay in place during transit. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave us a comment and subscribe to be notified on our next video.